Old man Woody likes the crooked cock.
Friends, yeah.
Having a great time.
I've just been made aware of
Damn it, boys.
India's anti-shit in the streets campaign. Are you guys familiar with this?
Yep. Makes sense.
It is really, really stinky out here.
They made a music video.
Versatile.
You have to click on the link, not the picture, to get the
No,
timestamp.
This is not.
Wait, it's a public service announcement about not shitting in the streets. I got to look at this right now.
I bookmarked it at about 3:15 out of memory
No fucking way.
because I didn't want to listen to the audio I didn't want to listen to the audio and cue it up while you guys were talking. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
So it should be about 3:15.
Oh, no.
At 3:15.
I'm so mad.
3, 2, 1, play.
Let's take the
Got like an army of turds running the floor.
Yeah.
Start into the toilet. And there's fireworks going off. The sign that says poo party.
They're encouraging people to take the poo to the loo rather than
Shitting in the street.
shitting in the streets.
This cannot be real. There is no way that they are telling people to poo in the loo.
They are. Yeah, welcome to India.
I hate that.
Everybody is cheering the poo in the loo.
India is probably at the bottom of my list for most things. It's the bottom of the list of places I want to visit, cuisine I want to eat, women I want to fornicate with.
Who
I'll
is
hop
the
over to
bottom of the
poots-
list? Who's the
poo.com.
very bottom of the list of women to fornicate with?
I might say India, man.
Hmm.
I like black girls. I like Middle Eastern girls. Love Asian women.
What's going on with Eskimo ladies? What do they look like?
They suck a good dick.
You can't tell because you only see this much.
That's true.
Yeah, no idea. Maybe they're hoarding real good pussy up there, and they don't want anybody to know.
Eskimo pussy is mighty cold.
Dude, this poo2loo.com, there's no way this is, or maybe it is a real site built by India. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Prime Minister Kitesh, some bullshit name, takes responsibilities very seriously. Wow. That's hilarious.
The animation looks a little cheap for a country that's supposedly good with technical things.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the, like,
You sound like you haven't
Well-
done any tech projects with Indians before. Take it from me. That's about on target.
Woody, what was that silly Indian name you said? And you know, blank is there. The,
Srinivas, probably.
Srinivas. That's like you can't do accents, but when it comes to like saying a realistic Indian name, bang, 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 bang. You've
I
got
worked
all
with
of them.
2 Srinivases. One was a first name and the other was a last name. Both Srinivases.
Srinivas is more like how do you say Chris?
Yeah.
Where we are.
I worked with Patabi Srinivas and Srinivas Deshapante. Something close to that.
Jesus Christ.
I
I
got
saw some sort of statistic today. It was like, I guess it's in Korea, or maybe it was Vietnam, whatever, same thing.
Close enough.
Like Nguyen is like 40 or 50% of the population's last name is Nguyen. And they're like, by comparison, by the way, Smith is 0.8% of the American population.
God damn. Don't they have like a middle name that's more like decipherable over there? Where it's like they use
In
that
India?
to no, in Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam.
Okay, I was
I
talking
don't
about.
fucking know.
Yeah. And now that I've asked, I don't care. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
realized
passed.
I don't care at all. Yeah.
Even Smith at 0.08%. So that's almost 1%, right? I'm no longer a math student.
Yeah,
It does
0.8.
not seem like 1 out of 100 people you meet would be named
Yeah.
Smith. Surprised that's even that high.
Maybe. That's like 3.5 million people. Aren't there like 350 million people in this country now? Maybe even more.
Seems high. I mean,
I don't know.
Joe Biden explained the other day that we've lost 150 million since 97, so that it can't be that high.
I mean, that's a low estimate. Gun crime is out of control.
Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
Was that a sincere thing right there? The
Yeah.
gun crime is out of control.
Joe
No.
Biden said that
Oh, yeah.
Joe Biden claimed that 150 million Americans have been killed by gun violence since 1997.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be right behind India in population if it weren't for those goddamn guns
Jesus.
killing millions or 500,000 a day every year. Yeah, that's not what you
Well, that would be that's about right.
Yeah, that'd be pretty close.
500,000 a day. That explains why all of us have had friends and family killed by guns.
100. We're all the only ones left. I'm sure. Like most families.
Half my family all wiped out.
Ever since Mr. Russia's guns were taken, the death toll has plummeted. Leading us to believe he was doing a little more than getting high and watching cartoons online. You're like, I wasn't. I promise I wasn't. I promise. Look at my internet history. It's just porn and me playing games.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, Danny, what's next after YouTube? You have plans to go into TV and more? Or just YouTube is going to be huge?
The content I make, I assume I would be fired, canceled, thrown out of Hollywood the second I set foot into the mainstream world. So I want to stay on YouTube. I like what I'm doing now, but eventually, hopefully, the channel gets big enough where I can no longer do the blackface thing. I can no longer be telling people to fuck themselves in supermarkets for legal reasons because we'll get recognized. So maybe do more of a podcast type thing. I really enjoy stand-up. I'm not good at it. I've done it a couple times. That's a misconception I had, that if you can write funny jokes for a YouTube video, it's not going to be that hard of a transition to write a stand-up act. That's not the case. It's a completely different art form. So I really just want to make some sort of money on YouTube to the point where I feel safe if my channel gets deleted, if my Patreon gets deleted, and then start exploring things like going purely podcast or going into stand-up.
The YouTube thing is good enough. Like, oh, did you want to? I was going to say the YouTube thing is good enough. It used to be 5-6 years ago. Sorry, that it was like YouTube was a start, and if you did really, really well, maybe you get a movie like Fred, from 10 years ago, or like you could get out of YouTube and onto something better. Now it's like, why is TV better? TV's dying.
You're so right. My buddy Danny Duncan, he makes $3 million a year off selling merch on YouTube.
Hell yeah, Duncan.
Jimmy Kimmel, in the early years of him having his own late night show, was making $1.6 million a year. And that's if you have the head of your own late night show, which is about as high as it gets on the Hollywood ladder. So why not do it on your own terms, sock away that money that you make from YouTube pretty quickly, and then start making radical creative decisions about what you want to do with the rest of your career?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you guys do financially?
I didn't catch you.
He said, how do we do financially?
Pretty well. I'm the poorest member of the show by a good bit. Okay.
Well,
I'm not retired.
But is it pretty lucrative for you guys? I understand you have a huge... By the way, my last appearance on here, I gained so many new fans from being on your podcast. It's insane. Good. On Twitter, on Patreon, on our podcast, like so many people are mentioning like, hey, found you through PKA. So thank you guys I'm doing the show with, and thank you guys who are listening. But it seems like you guys have such a loyal audience that
we've been doing it for so long.
Our listeners kick ass.
Yeah, they are sick. Now. I like them a lot. They're not assholes either, which is
they're funny, which is good. Yeah.
There's all kinds.
It's a good mix. A lot of cocksuckers and fucking assholes and scumbag pieces of shit. And then there's a good guy. His name's Steve. We all know Steve. And then there's the pieces of shit and the
but we can't do this show the way we do it and then look at the listeners and be like, now why are they so nasty?
That's exactly true.
No, they're being funny.
You reap what you sow. It's funny. The people who watch this show think making fun of people is funny. How dare they? Then they turn those guns on us, and it's like, oh, that's not cool.
So you're doing a podcast already, or you're thinking about starting?
We do, but it's more a supplement for hardcore fans. We do it on this fucking couch with this bullshit background, which, I mean, you guys aren't for high studio value either.
Your background sucks, I was going to say.
And your lighting? I have the worst lighting in America.
My lighting was too. But you guys know how it is. Because we grew up on Stern and Opie and Anthony, I feel like the production value should be higher, that we should have some bits written. So I'm never satisfied how we do our podcast.
Writing bits is fun for it. Like we've done ones here, like conspiracy ones where like we'll text during the week and be like, all right, we're all going to bring a conspiracy theory, and you can't do some dumbass shit where like in the middle of your presentation of it, you're discounting it and making jokes. No, you have to present that conspiracy like it's true, prevent it vehemently, and try and get people on your side. That's a fun one. I want to do that again. That was really fun.
I like the different approaches to it too.
Yeah.
I like doing the Holocaust.
Yeah, Kyle did the Holocaust. I did 9/11.
Kyle and I went totally different directions. Where Kyle's like, Holocaust, and I'm like, Long John Silver's is a weed laundering organization, and they don't actually make money. But like, there's so many of these. That'd be great. And then Bible stories, like I'll tell abridged Bible stories occasionally. Usually, I keep those for the Just Us Girls episodes because I don't want to make a guest sit there and listen to my dumb ass talk.
I enjoyed when we improv'd out the dildo salesman bit.
That was fun. That was just improv though. That we didn't prepare that. Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that shit's fun.
Filming YouTube videos the way we do it is also about a 60-hour-a-week commitment. So there's not a whole lot of time to do a really well-developed podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Again, though, what you guys are doing on here is fucking awesome and inspiring to see.
Oh, well, thank you, man. You're pumping our tires a little too much, but I'm not going to stop you. That's great. But yeah, your videos are very clearly high effort and they're hilarious. I'm going to watch your most recent log because that's so fucking funny. And
there's a lot.
Your podcast is the Leo and Danny show with its own channel, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, check that out.
There's a lot you can do on YouTube because if you're a comedian and other medians, if you're a sitcom guy, every episode's a fucking scenario, 3 acts, resolves nice and neatly at the end. If you're a stand-up, you're telling the same jokes over and over. It needs to be set up punchline. YouTube, though, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. You write it. You don't have some PC studio head you have to answer to who's going to read over the script. There's a lot of freedom, and it is pretty fulfilling. On the downside is you are doing everything, so I can't afford a team. It's not like Nathan For You or a high-budget Comedy Central show where I have a producer, somebody who calls people up and tells them we're going to be filming at their location, some guy who's pitching me jokes and bits. It's all done in-house here. So it's stressful, but it's fulfilling.
Good. I mean, that's fulfilling is kind of what you're looking for, right? Like you kind of expect it to be a little stressful.
So, yeah.
I always describe YouTube as more work than people think, but better than a real job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. There's so much money to be made in entertainment, and it goes directly to us. It doesn't filter through some corporation like ABC. It's nice.
Yeah, it filters through the corporation of Google YouTube instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You guys get AdSense?
A little bit. We get demonetized quite a bit, so that's a thing. But I try not to let that affect the content. I'm pretty sure this will get demonetized, but
Yeah.
But see, what's more valuable? The monetization from one video or keeping the listeners happy, making silly ass dumb jokes?
I actually agree.
For the real sweet kids.
Yeah.
Or Kyle calling Hila Klein a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Valuable.
I didn't say she's a scarecrow. I said birds would be afraid of her.
Yeah. Don't you go misquoting him.
I ended on that note. I love the wordplay.
That was the best shit I've ever heard.